Hi, everybody. I want to introduce to you this new instrument that I just finished building yesterday. And it's called, it was supposed to be called the Murchanatar version 15. But to me, it seems more like a Murchanatar. But in fact, it's still a Murchanatar, so I think I'm going to call it the Murchanatar version 1. Or maybe MRM tar for Murchanatar version 1. The reason is that it really is a rag makamtar in that it has the two necks. One is an oud and one is like a sarod. But what's particularly interesting about this is the Murchana elements which I've added to it. And why don't you check out the video that I'm just uploading now? It'll be there before this one. It's about the Murchanatar prototype, and that will give you an idea about what the Murchana effect is and how that's achieved in that instrument anyway. So, and this, I learned a lot from the first Murchanatar, and I actually quite changed the mechanisms for achieving that Murchana effect. Basically what the Murchana effect is when you have a scale, and of course the scale has a tonic. Now if you keep the same scale notes and change the tonic note, then the effect is very different, like the listening effect. For example, if you start a C major scale from D, then that becomes a Dorian mode, which is a minor scale. So changing the tonic will change the effect that the listener gets from the scale, right? So that's what Murchana is. Means you can keep the same scale and just change the drone notes, and you get a very different sound from that. So, I mean, the reason why that's particularly interesting for these kind of instruments is that when you have a fretless instrument, you're pretty bound to the open strings, right? Because you need some sort of stability there of reference points where the open strings provide that. Of course, if you have a fretted guitar, I mean, you hardly have to even think about the open strings, because everything is, it's there. The frets are very stable. You don't have to like hit your finger the right spot. So when you have a fretless instrument, you tend to need to sort of more or less play around the same areas. So therefore, it's quite difficult to get a kind of Murchana effect or an effect of a chords, like chordal movement underneath what you're playing on the melody. It's difficult to get that because you're normally limited to what open strings you have tuned as drone notes. Okay? So what I decided to try to do was to design various mechanisms in which I could change the drone notes instantly. Because if you without that, then you're left with having to change the tuning of your drone notes, and then once you change the tuning, then it changes the tension on the neck, and then all the strings go out of tune, and then you're in trouble, when you're on stage playing a concert and everything's out of tune, right? So this way, with these mechanisms, I can change the drone notes instantly without having to tune anything, basically. So what I've done on the sarod neck is I've got a chicory and a drone string there, and these little levers which block the string at various points. So that works nicely. On the oud neck, I've got a very deep bass string, which I have one slider here, which will slide that deep bass tone anywhere I want, and then for the two lowest, after that deep bass string, there are two other sort of low oud strings, which This was a very interesting thing, which I made these little tiny little, you can't see them probably, little keys. It's almost like a key. And for the first, so for these two low strings, the fingerboard gets extended by a whole tone, 2 frets, a whole tone. And I've put 3 frets on here, one for like the first fret, one for the second fret, and one in the middle for a microtonal fret. But for the first fret and for the second fret, I've drilled little holes, and I've kind of devised, I've got a little piece of metal under there, so you can stick this key in there. You can stick it in to this hole and turn it and push it down, and then when you turn it, it locks it into place and blocks the string over that fret. So that way you get that. And take it out, turn it, take it out, and 1 fret down. So that way I can put these little keys in there. You know, it takes a couple of seconds. It's better than tuning, right? So you just stick it in there, turn it, and then you're locked on that fret. So you can have that as a drone string, or you can also play from there. So that gives me 4 different possibilities of altering the tuning on those. So what I'm going to do for you on this video is I'm actually not going to play this road neck, because yesterday I just completed the instrument, and I spent the whole day kind of experimenting with various different Murchanas with just the oud neck. So tomorrow I'll do this road neck, or whatever, next week. So that's all I'm going to do, and I'm going to run through a few of them. I wrote them down here, so bear with me, and I'll just kind of retune as we go. So the first one will be, I just want to show you how you can change the tunings and play different scales and get very different modal sounds from just one instrument without having to retune. All different tonics. The tonic is shifting from D, D sharp, E, F, F sharp, G, A, running through all of them. So your listeners are, you know, when you're playing modal music, your listeners are not stuck with the same monotone drone, sa, or whatever, through the whole concert. You know, you can change it every piece, right? Okay, so the first one, we've got like a low D, or very low actually. And the chicories are, let's see here, so here we go. So the chicory would be, oops. So these have to be straight here. Okay, so that's on south. So we make it on, let's flick this one up. It gives ga, okay? So the chicory is on ga. And that's a double, like an octave chicory, kind of chicory. And the next one will be at ga. So that would be, I believe it's this one. Okay. D sharp. And we'll change the chicory from ga to komogat. That last one, by the way, was Makam Saba. Now I'm going to play Raga Gujri Todi from D sharp. And this one's kind of heavy. So once you get into the D sharps and some of these off sort of tonics, sometimes you can kind of get a heavy effect, but it's cool anyways. Yeah. Okay, and let's shift the bass note from D sharp to E. Alright. Now, as I mentioned, these little mini, I call them mini capos for the oud. This one needs to come out. It was in that position, so just look at it, take it out. There you go. Off. That goes. The chicories here, okay, this one goes to Ma, so it's so Shudaga to Ma and Re. So where the hell is that? That's Sa Re. Re should be. There's a mistake on there. Re. Should be Como Re maybe. Hijaz from B. keep moving forward here. Move this bass note up to F from E. Okay. And okay, now we got to put these little things in. On the first fret, here we go. Just put it in, turn it. Simple as that, man. All right, here's the next one. For both. There we go. So those are blocked up. Cool. Okay, the chicory, this should be at Tivrama, so. Knee. Okay. And I'm going to play Bhadavi from E. And I just thought these up yesterday, so it's all kind of fresh. So I don't know what the hell I'm doing here. So let me see. Bhadavi from E. So it'll be So the drone is on F, but I'm playing Bhadavi from E. So it's a Murchanatar. Ooh, that's a nice one, yeah. Okay, so let's keep moving on here. So we got the F, let's go to F sharp. Okay, take these out. And put these two in, which are for the next fret up. So, see how quick that is? My God. There we go. One little bugger. Just put it in, turn it. There we go. So. Yeah, now we're on F sharp. Okay, we'll change the chicories to Pa. This one's a different. Re or Komal Ga, let me think. That's Komal Ga. Or Re. See, that would be more easy. But this is giving more woo effect. Let's try with with this one first. Now I'm going to play Maqam Husseini from F sharp. So that's F sharp. Husseini, typical. Okay, from F sharp, let's go to G. Now let's take these two up. And Chakri to Komal Dha, that should be. And Re. I got the bass note on G, and I'm going to play Bhairavi again from B. Okay. That's B. That's G. So play Bhairavi from here and see how it sounds. Okay, we got one more. Let's move from G up to A. And the chickadees, let's go back down to Ma. And Como Ni. And let's put these little buggers back in. Second fret position. See, during all this, you can sort of say, yeah, ladies and gentlemen, okay, this is another blah, 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 yeah, blah, 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 and that was one blah, blah, blah from the CD. Okay, finished. Right, so. A, I got this on A, I'm going to play Makam Rast in A. That's it. Thank you all for listening. See you next time.